Good evening, all. Hope I'm audible. Yeah. Good evening, all. Okay. Today's topic is about JDBC crude operations. Okay, before starting with the crude operations, let's see the steps which we need to aware to connect database with a Java application. Okay, so steps to connect database. So first step, first of all, we have to load the driver class. Okay, first we have to load the driver class. In our previous class, we have discussed about the types of drivers and what is the JDBC and how connection is going to be established with the help of drivers, right? So today we are going to discuss the steps how to connect Java with the database, and yes, how to insert data, and yes, how to retrieve data and how to manipulate data. So this is what we are going to learn in this session. Okay, right. So the first topic is about connect to database or establishing connection with our database. So what are the steps? First of all, we have to load the driver class. After loading driver class, we have to create an object for connection. Okay, and then we have to, or we can create a statement object. Okay, I'll explain each and every component in this. And yes, after creating statement, then we have to execute the statement. After execution of the statement, unable to see screen. Are you all facing this issue? Please respond. Is my screen is visible to all?
Yes, Rupa, it's visible.
Someone commented that it's not visible. Okay. Fine. So the next step after executing the statement, or we can say query, then the next step is going to close the connection. Right. So these are the steps to to establish connection with a database. Okay. And now we'll see each component. Okay. So here I have mentioned it as a driver and connection and statement, right? So we can say these are the reusable components which is which are there in a Java JDBC API, right? So next, let's go ahead with the steps to connect with database. So first of all, we have to load the driver class. How to load the driver class with the help of class. Okay, so a class is a keyword in Java. Okay, class dot for name. So for name is a method from this class. It's a predefined class. Right. So inside this for name, we are passing, or we can pass any driver class name. So here in this session, I'm going to take, or we are going to discuss about MySQL. Okay, so in this for name, I have passed MySQL driver class. So MySQL driver class is com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Right. So which is the next step? The next step is going to be create a connection object. Okay, connection object. So how do we create an object for connection? So first of all, what is connection? Connection is an interface. Okay, so connection is an interface. We can establish a connection with a database with the help of this connection interface. And if it is an interface directive, we cannot instantiate, instance for this connection interface. Why? We are unable to create, and Java will not allow us to create a object for any interface, right? So we take a method called get connection method. Right. So here you all can see connection and its instance or reference equals to driver manager. So what is driver manager? A driver manager is a class. Okay. So driver manager is a class. And we are calling get connection method. And inside this get connection method, compulsorily we have to pass the URL, username, and password. So these are the three arguments or parameters we must pass inside this get connection method. So then only connection will be established, established with a database, or else it will throw you an exception. Right. So the note point. So you all can observe a class. Okay. So basically, class is a predefined component, basically used for loading JDBC driver connection and with a driver manager. So you can say it's a part of SQL API. Right. So now we'll see one simple example. Before that, I'm taking Workbench. I've mentioned prerequisites for for learning JDBC. So you need to have any software, database software. Either it can be Oracle or it is MySQL or Postgres. So any SQL, SQL database it is. So here I'm taking MySQL Workbench. So I'm going to create a new workspace here. So for workspace, so I'm given it as an ExcelR. So this is my workspace, and yes, you can go here, store in value. I have to set password and then click on OK. And now we have to check, we have to test the connection. So now go ahead with this test connection. So yes, it is established. So in case if any issues with a password or your host name, so then it will not allow us to connect successfully. Okay, so now everything is fine. So click on OK. And now go ahead with a OK. So now this is my workspace, and now click on, this workspace. So here, you all can see there are different databases, but now I'll create one database here. So here I have, so let's go here again. ExcelR DB. So this is my database name. Okay. And click on apply. So these are the steps which we need to follow for creating database in Workbench. Right. So now, hope you all can see the database, ExcelR DB. So now, let's go to our Eclipse. So prerequisites, I had mentioned we need to have Eclipse and any database software installation. So let's go here. So I'm just giving it as an JDBC. So I created new workspace in Eclipse as well. So it takes few seconds. So now let's it's maximize. Right. So now in this project explorer, so hope you all aware about how to create a project. So here I'm taking yes project, and here you all can select this Java project and click on this, and here I'm going to type JDBC demos, and as usual, so basic either it can be a default JRE or environment JRE, it's fine. So but here we must have the latest version, in the sense the JRE which is installed in our system, right? So then click on next, and yes, finish. Okay, so now we can expand this. So yeah, SRC, right click on the SRC. So I'm trying to create a package. So com dot JDBC dot. So package name can be anything. So let me give here as an ExcelR. Okay, so now click on finish. Right. So now again, right click on the project, not project, right click on the package and select new and go ahead with a class, select the class. So this is my first demo. I'm giving it as an JDBC demo 1. Okay, right. So inside this, let me, write main function. And now please observe. So what is the first step? Load driver class. So how to load, how do we load the class? So with the help of class keyword, class dot for name, right? It's a single argument within double quotes. So for now, what is the driver class for MySQL? So that is com dot mysql dot jdbc dot driver. So this is a one predefined driver class for MySQL. Error is about, actually we have to import, we have to import SQL API. So yesterday we have discussed SQL API, right? So java dot SQL dot star. Okay, so still we have an error because with this we have to handle exceptions. Suppose in case if this driver is not found, okay, this driver is not found in this project, so then it might throw you an exception. So to handle those exceptions, so we must use, either we can use a try catch, or by using throws we can handle this exceptions, right? So now it's done about loading driver class. And now the second step, okay, step 2, create connection object. So we are going to create a connection object. Okay, so how do we create a connection object? By using interface connection, and its instance equals to driver manager driver manager dot get connection. So here in this, in this get connection method, so we must pass 3 arguments. So what are those 3 arguments? What are those 3 arguments? Let me mention here. So 3 arguments are, again, I mentioned with the comments, URL, username, and password. Okay. So now let me pass the username. First is a URL. Okay. So this is a URL of database. So basically, MySQL URL, how it starts, JDBC colon MySQL colon / localhost colon 3306. So this is a default port number. Okay, so 3306 / database name. Okay, so what is the database name which we have created? That is ExcelR DB, right? So we can pass, there's it's not on case sensitive, so you can pass either uppercase or lowercase. So ExcelR DB. So this is a database which we have created inside MySQL Workbench, right now? Right. So URL is done. We have to, pass few more arguments. So separated by comma. Now again within double quotes, username is root. Okay, username is root, and again password. So password is also root. Okay, so again, I know it shows some compilation error. So now you all can see here, it says unhandled exception. So what we have to do, either we can, there are 2 options. So to quickly fix this issue, what are those 2 options? Either we can add throws clause or we can use a try catch block. Okay, so I'll prefer, throws clause. Fine. So connection is done. Okay, so now let me write one statement in case, if, the details URL along with a database and a username password, if these, data matches with your database info. Okay, so then it establishes connection successfully. Connection establishes successfully. Okay, so this is a message. It will display in a console. This is very basic, demo for establishing connection with our database. Okay, so now let me run. Let me run and show you. So what is the exception? It says that, class not found exception. So which class is that? The driver class. Okay, so the driver class, it's not found. So then what we have to do? If you want to establish connection with a database, compulsory, we have to load or we have to add jar file. So which jar file is that? MySQL connector jar. Okay, so let me, add comment here. Third step. So add MySQL connector jar to our project. Okay, so now, so from where we will get? So you can download this MySQL connector jar from net. Okay, so right click on, I've already downloaded. Now let's go here, right click on project and select build path. So this is for adding jar file. Okay, so yes, click on right click on project and select build path, and here configuration build path. And now in this window, we have to select libraries. So in this libraries, directly you can go for add external jars. If every time if you don't want to add this jar, yeah, one way I will show here later. Another way I'll show it later. So this is MySQL connector jar. Where is it? Right. So here I have MySQL connector jar. So I just added that. And now click on apply. And then see when you click on apply. So here by default, this folder is generated. Okay. Now click on OK. Fine. So now again I'm executing. So right click on this editor and select run as and Java application. So hope you all can see this. Connection establishes successfully. Any queries in this? One question here. So which version? So latest version you can download. That's not an issue. Latest version, MySQL 8, Workbench 8 or 9. So not sure. So latest version can be downloaded. Oh, okay. Sure. Fine. Fine, then. So this is just a simple application, sample application for establishing connection with our database. So nothing we have taken here. We have just taken, we have just loaded our driver class and then created instance for what? Instance for connection object. And yes, we are passing username, password, and URL. Okay, so that's it. Now let's we'll go one by one in the sense we have few more interfaces. We'll discuss one by one. So this is a sample example which is there in the presentation. Right. So I'm going to continue with the same. So the interfaces and the classes in database or in JDBC. So just now, we have discussed about a driver and driver manager connection, right? So along with those few more, interfaces and its classes we are going to discuss. Okay, so here is about different classes and interfaces. So first of all, we are going to start with one question. Do we need to install JDBC? We don't need to install JDBC. We have to install database. Either it is MySQL or it is Oracle, any database which you prefer. Okay, so only we have to download one jar file to connect, to establish connection with a database. Okay, right. So now we will discuss, we'll go ahead with the practical part for a few more interfaces. Okay, so what are those interfaces? We have discussed about, driver and connection. Now it's about statement. Okay, so statement is an interface. Okay, statement is an interface in JDBC API. And one more, one more thing, if you want to check from where we are getting, so you people might get question, so are these classes really defined in this SQL API, right? If you wanted to check, you can go to this reference library, and here you can click on this, arrow, and here in this arrow, MySQL JDBC. So please observe here, com.mysql.jdbc, and here you all can find the number of classes, interfaces, as I said, there are more reusable components in a API. Okay, for now we have seen one component, that is connection. Let me show you. So here you all can see the driver class. Okay, driver class. And let me show you that connection object. Connection. Yes, so here connection, it is an interface. You all can see here I symbol, right? So this is an interface. It represents interface. Okay, and in this interface you all can observe, see we have number of methods. What are those number of methods? So we can use, we can abort that connection, and we can change the users, and we can close the connection, right? So the method which we have used it as an get connection. Where is that? Get connection. So actually we have, okay, so this method is from driver class. Okay, get connection method is from driver class, not from the connection object. So let me show you where the driver class is defined. It's a class. Okay, let me check other package. MySQL database. Okay, so here we have SQL, JDBC SQL util package as well. Okay, so already you people might aware about this util package. So few more are there, which is related to the JDBC. Okay, so whenever you feel doubt or any issues with the class or any interfaces, you can get into this MySQL connector jar and you can check here. Okay. Statement. So here we have statement interface, right? In this statement interface, few more methods we have. Okay. So each method is having, its own usage. But the thing is about this API, we can use these components, these components multiple times. So that's what is a reusable components. Okay. Let's go ahead with this. Fine. So I'm going to create a one more, activity for statement object. So here I have to I'll enable this, public static void main. And please observe, this is, bit, it's just a small difference for the, from previous program. So first, let me load the class dot for name com dot mysql dot driver. Okay, so I loaded with the driver class, and yes, we have to handle throws clause. This for class not found exception, comma SQL exception. Okay, so I'm handling SQL exception as well. Fine. So now what I'll do, string URL equals to. Okay, so I'm going to pass in us. I'll create a string variable, and for that variable, I'm assigning value. So URL basically JDBC colon MySQL localhost. Okay, colon, and this is our default port number. So that is 3306 / database name is ExcelR DB. So this is my URL, and again string username equals to root, and initialize one more string variable and assign value. Okay, so these are the 3 arguments. I've initialized the 3 string variables along with its values, and now I'll pass these 3 variables inside get connection method. Okay, so now let me create an object for connection, and its reference equals to driver manager. Okay, driver manager dot get connection. Okay, so here 3 arguments we have to pass. The first one is URL and username, password. Okay, so we have to include import java.sql.connection. Okay, so now again, so if you want to check, establish whether the connection is established or not, you can check. How you can check? By writing simple statement. Okay, so I'll just return it as a success. Hope it's clear. Screen is not visible. Fine. So let me reshare my screen. Is it visible now? Okay. Hope it is clear, guys. So this is the, sample steps or simple steps which we need to follow to establish connection with a database. Right. So now statement object along with a result set. So we are going to discuss about statement and result set. We have already discussed this, so I'm moving, a bit fast. Right. So now it's about, event connection object we have done, right? Now it's about statement object. Okay. So basically, a statement is an interface in JDBC or Java database connectivity. Okay, so basically it's used for representing queries. We can use the statements to represent queries, or if we want to execute any queries, then we can use this statement interface. Okay, yes, the statement object is created by using connection object. We cannot, we cannot alone create an object for the statement. Then how do we create? We must use connection object to establish or to create instance or reference for statement. Right. Yes, of course, it's a compiled and executed, and executing query in certain number of times, then query is compiled, and which is associated, number of times, and hits database and processes the database, or whatever the operation which we implemented, that operation will be processed. And execution of those execution of statement results in result object. Why do we need this result object again? So here is a question: what is result set? So again, result set is an object. Okay, result set is an interface. Always it plays its cursor, with a table records. Okay, so what is the purpose of this result set interface? If we want to access, if we want to retrieve any record from table, then we must instantiate an object for this result set interface. So again, how do we instantiate? So again, if we want to instantiate result set reference or an object, compulsorily we have to use connection object connection object. Right. So now let's move to practical part. So how we will before moving to this execution, let's create one simple example for it's not example, simple table. Okay, so which is our database, that is ExcelR DB, right? And now, so let me create one table. So either you can write a query, or directly you can go ahead with a table creation with its given options. So right click on the tables, create a table, and here we can give table name. So here I'm giving student, employee, any table we can take up. Okay, so now, so here student, if it is a student ID. So ID data type will be int, and yes, it's represented as a primary key. And name. So name will be in the, basically name will be represented in string format, right? So varchar is a data type. Okay, so again, I'm using address. Again, it's a varchar. So we can use a grade. Right, grade. So grade fine will represent in characters. Size 45 is not fixed. Okay, so it varies. You can you can place any number of sizes. Either it can be 1, 10, or anything. So here by default it's taken 45. So I had given it as a 45. Let me change here. to grade 10. That's fine. So now click on apply. Click on apply. Okay, so now yes, apply and then finish. Now, so let's go here, right? So now let me add a few, records to a table. So now my table is, student table is empty. So we have to add the values. So how do we add the values? For adding which query we use? Alternative for workbench, you can use a command prompt, MySQL command prompt, or you can use a Oracle. So I'm trying to insert, I'm trying to insert values. So query for inserting, insert into which table it is? Student table. So here I have to select that student table along with the database name. So ExcelR DB dot student, insert into table name values. So what are the values? ID. Let me give ID, comma, and yes, characters must be enclosed within single quotes in SQL, right? So name, I'm giving here. So house, comma, again address. So I'm just giving it as an, Bangalore, comma, grade. So grade again, I had given it as an, varchar. So I'm giving it as an A grade. Okay. So now it's done. Insert. Right. So it's done. So now I'm going to insert this. If you want to execute this statement, now you click on this, execute selected, portion of script. So this symbol, click on the symbol and let's see the console. It's not inserted. What is the problem? SQL syntax. Okay, actually, I guess it's fine. So it's actually, one record is affected. I thought, error. It wasn't. So one row is affected. So now I can execute. So now let's see. Select star from ExcelR dot student ExcelR DB. Okay, so one row is affected. Okay, so let me insert one few more records. So insert into ExcelR DB dot student space values, and now I'm going to inject values. So what are the values? It will be ID 001 and the name comma, address. So again, I'm giving it as in Chennai, comma. Let's go with the Bangalore only. And grade. Let me use a B grade. Okay, so now I'm going to inject this. Okay, so one row is affected. Okay, so now again, one more, record I have to insert into ExcelR DB student values. So here this values 2. We can do auto generate, but here we are not doing auto generate. Okay, so now, right. Again, I have given it as an A grade. Okay. So now again, I'm gonna run this. Actually, by default, it's affecting this row. So ID, same ID cannot be inserted again. That's the reason this error is about. Fine. So now we'll write, select query and we'll check whether all 3 records are inserted or not. Select star from ExcelR DB dot student. Right. So now click on. Oh, good. So all 3 records are inserted. What is it? See, ID can be auto-generated. Okay, so there is an option to generate automatically, but here in this programming part, we are, inserting ID. If you are, okay, so question is, if we have kept ID is auto increment, then why we are putting values manually? So actually here in this, in this part, I have not kept any auto increment. Okay, so I'm inserting ID values manually. Suppose if we, kept auto increment option, then definitely it's not needed to insert, insert values manually. Yes, we can. We can insert multiple rows. Okay, so now let's move to Eclipse. Okay, so hope this part is clear. Inserting values and retrieving values in table. So, but remember, duplicate ID cannot be, right? So duplicate ID numbers cannot be inserted. So in case if we are trying to insert duplicate, ID, suppose assume that. So here I'm taking, let me copy this. Okay, assume I'm taking it as an okay, let it be. So I'll run this one. So hope you people can find, in the console, action output. So what is that error? Error code that is 1062. This is the error code. What is that error? Duplicate entry to, for key, primary key. Actually, it's not, taking 00, it's taking 2 directly. Okay, so it says that duplicate entry, duplicate ID number cannot be taken. Okay, suppose if I change it as an 1013, assume that. So now, so you all can see, right? If you want it, you can check. If anyone wants to check, yes, you can run this statement. Okay, so 4 rows are written, even you can see. So this is the output window. Okay, so let's move to Eclipse. And here in the Eclipse, so let's write, one more example. Let me create a new demo. So you people can find the, difference for the first one and for the second one, right? And now I'm going to, create demo for result set. Okay, result set along with a statement. Okay. So main, in the main, class dot for name dot MySQL. So this is a driver class. And now, so first of all, let me, throws, which exception it is, class not found. Okay, comma, SQL exception. So both the exceptions have added. Right, now connection and its object or reference equals to driver manager dot get connection. Okay, so URL basically it starts with JDBC colon MySQL / with localhost port number 3306 / ExcelR DB. Okay, so this is a URL and default, root name and password, username and password. Right, so let's go here. Import java.sql.star. I'm importing star. Okay, so when I import star, so we don't need to import, each one specifically. So now I can remove these two. Okay, so now let's go ahead with this statement. So I said now it's about, creating statement object. Statement, let me write a comment, add comment here. Creating statement object. Okay, so how do we create object? To create statement object, we must use, object of connection interface or CON. We can write it in Notepad and we can run. run in command prompt. We can run. Okay, so let me continue. But Eclipse is a preferable in industries. Okay, so write statement and its object. Just use a st as an object name, or else let me use a statement. So statement equals to connection object con dot create connection. Okay, so now write create connection. So now what I'll do, I'll just go with a result set. Okay, result set and its object. So let me give here, give here as a result set. See, don't be confused why she's, don't be confused with the same name. So why I'm trying to use this instead of short form. So this is the, this is basically a kind of code quality. Okay, so whatever the object names or the references names which we pass, those names should be meaningful. Okay, so this provides us code quality. Okay, right? So here I'm using result set and its reference as a result set. So you people can find the difference for this result set and here, this is the all these result sets are in lowercase, right? Okay, so result set and its reference equals to statement object dot. I'm wrong here. Statement object. Okay, so statement object dot execute query. So what is that query? So I'm trying to select, I'm trying to accept all, it's not accept, I'm trying to retrieve all the records which are present in a ExcelR, yes, ExcelR DB database. Okay, so select select star from, which table is that? Student, right? Student. So let's, come out and comment with it. Fine. Then with a semicolon. And now I'm going to use a while. See, we have, there's, it's how many records we have in database, sorry, table. So we have 3 records. If it is a single record, then easily we can get it with the help of name, names of those columns. But here we have 3 records. So in such case, we have to use a looping statement. So here I'm using while loop. Okay, so while and result set. So result set dot. So please observe these all are the methods of result set interface. Okay, so we have many more methods, but here for now we are going to use method called next. So please observe the next method return it's a method of result set, and the return type of this method is Boolean. Okay, so Boolean means what? True or false, right? It returns true when when it finds the next record. Suppose if it didn't find the next record, it returns false. Then execution comes out of the loop. Okay, so now I'm writing system.out.println. So I'm trying to get or retrieve values or records from the table. Fine. So now what is that object? Result set. Result set dot get. First one is an integer, right? I passed a first column name. So it's an integer, comma. It's not comma, plus, because of few more records we have, plus again result set dot get string. So again, get string is a column index. I'm passing index. So 2. So yes, again, continue. So again here, result is set. 4 columns we have, right? Result sets dot get string. This is a third index. Let me go to the next line, okay? So now place the result is set dot get string again. Okay, so get string index number is 4. Okay, so now it's done. So all records now we are trying to get it. Okay, so now let me run this. Right, everything is fine. Please observe the console. So we give, it's retrieving all the records, right? So result set cursor always it will be on, table. Okay, so result set basically it's used for retrieving records from table. Any queries in this? Okay, let's move to other one. So that is prepared statement. Prepared statement. Actually here itself, along with the result set, we can use a method called actually in execution part. Okay, so here with the execution part, we have, execute query, execute and execute update. We have 3 methods. So in further, demos, we will learn about, those 3 methods. 3 in the sense, so here we have seen with the query and we have 2 more, that is execute and execute update. Okay. Now let's move to prepared statement. Okay, so prepared statement, so it's an interface. Okay, basically this result set, prepared statement, these all are extended from result set interface. Statement interface. This is a class. Let me close this. And I'll create one new package for prepared statement. ExcelR dot prepared statement. Okay, so it's done. Now let's create prepared statement. First demo. Okay. Now this prepared. Okay, so I'm giving it as a demo number 1 along with the main method. So basically what is prepared statement? So prepared statement is an interface. The first point, it's an interface. Okay. Or even we can say it's a sub interface of statement, because it's actually extended, features of statement interface, right? And this prepared statement is a pre-compiled SQL statement. Okay, so it's a pre-compiled SQL statement. Let me write here with a comment. is a precompiled. Okay, or okay, or okay, so we can call it as an parameterized query. Parameterized statement or query. Or query. Okay. Right. So this prepared statement interface, its object provides a feature of executing parameterized queries. Okay, so now we'll see how this parameterized, prepared statement, works with a parameterized statements or with a query. Okay, so now again, we have to establish connection. So for that, we have to load the class, class dot for name com dot MySQL dot driver. Okay. And now let's see. So yes, I forgot to handle this exception. So throws clause. So class not found, exception, comma, SQL exceptions. Okay, so class not found, basically in case if this class is not found in this, application, then it will throw you an exception. So that exception needs to be handled. So that will be happened, this class not found exception will be handled. And in case if any SQL exceptions, suppose, if the database is not found or the table is not found, so then, those kind of exceptions will be handled by this SQL exception. Right. So now connection con equals to driver manager dot get connection. So let me pass here. Okay, string URL equals to JDBC colon MySQL. Actually, this URL will be common. If you want to change the database, you can change. It's common for every user except the database name. So yes, JDBC colon MySQL localhost colon 3306 slash what is the table name? Sorry, database name ExcelR DB. Okay, and end with semicolon. Right, again string username equals to root. Okay, string password equals to root again. Okay, so now let me include the connection object. So now pass all those, all these three objects inside this get connection method. So that is URL, comma, username, comma, password. Okay. Now let's create an object for prepared statement. Prepared prepared statement and its object. Prepared. I'm just using P statement. Okay, because it's a lengthy, so I'm using P statement equals to connection object dot. Okay, connection object dot. It's a con dot prepared statement. Okay, so now so now we have created what is this prepared statement. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to insert a few more records to a table. Okay, so with the parameters. So now I'm going to remove this prepared statement. And here I'm passing query. So what is that query? I'm trying to insert. Insert into. Okay, so insert into what? Table. Which table is that? Student. Insert into student values. Okay, so values within braces. It should be question mark. So this is a placeholders. Or we can say, parameters. Okay, so later, we replace this placeholders with the methods. Okay, methods or parameters. Question mark is placeholder. So we can replace with the values, not directly. So now let's see this parameterize. So now P statement dot set. Actually, we have 4 methods now. Not 4 methods, 4 columns. So here again, comma, question mark, 4 parameters, because if you want to insert record, okay, if we want to insert record, then compulsory we have to pass 4 parameters. Again, one more question. So this is the 4th parameter. Okay, so now how to set values for those? So now let's go here. Prepared statement, that is P statement dot P statement dot set integer, and now we replace, this is the 1. So 1 indicates a first parameter. Okay, now this X is a value. Okay, so value is for what? It is for the ID. And now again, P statement dot second one is a string, right? Now name is a string, so set string second parameter with the name. Okay, so I'm passing name, and now again P statement dot set string third parameter and value for the third parameter. That is, now let me give it as an and we have one more parameter. So what is that parameter? P statement dot set string set string and fourth parameters. So we replace, we replace this question mark with this, set string. Okay, so we have to pass value for this. So this is a grade, right? So let me pass B grade. Okay, so setting values is done. Okay, so next is what? We have to execute this, right? It's not execution. We have to update the existing table, right? No. So now let's go here. Call that, prepared statement. Let me call that prepared statement. And, I equals to, what is this? Here, P statement, dot execute update. Okay, so if it is done, now print the records. Okay, so how many records it's going to be inserted? It's not necessary, but yes, for your count purpose, we can print record inserted. Okay, so this is a I. Okay, so let me run this. In case, if successfully inserts or, injects all these values, then it prints, the record number, or else it throws an exception. So now I'm going to run this. So what it says that it's inserted, one record. Okay. Now, if you want to retrieve, okay, so if we want to retrieve and if we want to print, then we can go ahead with a result set. Let me print this. Let me result set RS. Actually, I said meaningful it is. So result set equals to prepared statement dot execute query. So what is that query? Select star from student. Okay. Please share the materials. Okay. Where we have used a get int, we have not used a get int, right? Basically, prepared statement used for setting. Okay. Right. So now, while let me add comment here. Retrieving all records from table. Which table it is? Student table. Okay. Right. So now result set dot next. And yes, so here we can pass. Yes, sorry, we have to print those values to console, right? System.out.println result set dot get int and index I'm passing. So let me pass 0 and observe. Okay, so I'm passing 0, please observe, and plus result set dot get string. Okay, so what is that string? Index is 1. Okay, so now three. Let me pass 2. Okay, I just move to the next line. Plus. Okay, so again, result set dot get string. So get string for what? This will be string with the third column. Okay, so now let me run. Let me change this. So what is this exception? This exception is about column index out of range. So always, we have to pass greater than or equal to 1, not 0. Okay, so let me change the column names. It's 1. So please, observe this one. Okay, I suppose if we pass index number, index value as a 0, it will throw you an exception, SQL exception. So that exception is handled by this throws clause, this one. Okay, so now let me run this. I have changed all the indexes right now. Let me save it. Right, now run this. Duplicate. Okay, actually, I'm trying to, without changing ID, I'm executed, right? So it's giving error. 1. Okay. Already that record inserted when I run the previously. So there was an invalid value for this keyword, so. So number of, records which inserted at present execution, it's 1. And now it's retrieving, right? It's retrieving all the records and it's printing. So this is about your prepared statement, or we can say parameterized query or parameterized statement. Questions? Okay, so now let's move with the same, update, prepared statement itself, just to modify. Okay, so modify existing record. Okay, assume that I wanted to add, not add, I want to change grade. Instead of grade, let's go with a, so what is it, address. Okay, so let's move to update prepared statement with a update prepared statement. So in this, again, class dot for name, driver. Okay, so first of all, let me come from the beginning in the sense import java dot sql dot start. So now handling exceptions, throws class not found exception, come on, SQL exception. Right, so now yes, connection and its object equals to driver manager dot get connection. So in this get connection, we have to pass the URL mysql / localhost colon port number slash what is it, database. Okay, so database name and username and again password. Okay, so now what I have to do here, I have to create a prepared statement and its object. Prepared statement and its object equals to connection object dot prepared statement. So here we can update, we can write the query. So what query is that? Update update student set address. Okay, let me take set address equals to question mark where ID equals to question mark. Okay, so I will pass the name of ID. Based on that ID, value has to change. So which value? Address value. Okay, so now prepared statement dot set. Okay, set string. First we have to change the address. So address will be first index and value. What I have to pass? Let me pass. Okay, so now this statement dot right set int that is 2 and ID number, let me pass 10. Okay, so after after the setting values, if for just for the count, you can have this. Okay, so int I equals to p statement. That is, yeah, p statement dot execute update. Okay, so now just for the, whether it is updated or not, just for reference, we can have this record is updated. So how many times it is? So for printing, for knowing that, we can print a I value. Okay, so now let me run. So it says that, record is updated. So we have to know whether it's updated or not by calling, or by printing all the records if required, right? Now we can add that result set. Okay, result set, and its object equals to prepared statement dot execute query. So what is that query? Select what I'll select. I will select ID, comma, address. From student. Okay, so while here, okay, let me write while condition. While, what is that? It's not, it should be rs result set. Okay, result set dot next. Okay, so in this next, system.out.println. So this is rs dot get id, now get int. So column number is 1 plus address rs dot get string. What is that? Column number 4. Okay, let's see. It's checking, I guess. Because second column is also string. No? Okay, so now you are able to say it right instead of index, because if I pass index, it is taking it, because second row also, second column is also string based, so it's confused. So I just pass the column name as an address. Hope it's clear. If workbench doesn't run, so there is an workbench installer. So MySQL installer you have, so you can just run once, run that MySQL installer once. Okay, so it will correct if any if anything missed with your system installation, workbench installation part. Or else by using that installer, you can update. Are we getting? Okay, fine. So this is about updating existing records by using prepared statement. And now let's go ahead with the one more program. So that's for deleting record. Okay, so I'll create one more demo, that is delete record. Okay, delete record is one more demo. This is from prepared statement only. Okay, right, so now we can go ahead with this. Create I'll enable this public static void main. And now, okay, as usual, so let's start from the beginning. So import java.sql.start. So here it is, throws class not found exception, SQL exception. Okay, and now what is your question? Okay, so that will be answered by ExcelR management team. Fine. So now this is an activity for removing record from the table. Okay, so for that, class dot for name. So com dot mysql dot JDBC dot driver. Okay, and now connection, its instance equals to driver manager. So it's actually compulsory for every Crud operation. See what Crud stands for? Crud stands for create, read, update, delete. So that's what the operation which we are performing. Okay, so driver manager dot get connection. So URL JDBC colon mysql colon / localhost and 3306 and slash database name ExcelR DB, comma root, again root. Okay, so now yes, now let's go ahead with the creation of prepared statement. Okay, so prepared statement PS equals to connection object dot prepared statement. So here we can pass query. What query is that? Delete delete from student where. So where ID equals to question mark. Okay, so now please observe the here the console. Assume that I wanted to remove record ID number 107. Okay, so we are going to set value for that. So that is ps dot set int. Okay, ps dot set int, and here now we are going to pass index is a 1 and value. So what is the value? Value is 107. Okay, and now again int I is equals to prepared statement dot execute update. Okay, so now let me run that. Okay, system.out.println and records record deleted. Okay, so here it mentioned we can mention how many records it's deleted. Fine. So this is I. Okay. So plus symbol. Plus symbol here. Okay. So now let me run this. How many, how many records it's deleted? One record, right? So we have to check that, whether it's deleted or not. Am I right? So for that, result set rs equals to prepared statement dot execute query. So what is that query? Again, I'm going to select ID and address. Okay. Address is not needed. Actually, ID can be selected. So ID, select ID from student. Right. So ID from the student where it's not where clause. Okay. Fine. So now while rs dot next. Okay, rs dot next, and now system dot out dot println. See, I'm not selecting all the columns. I'm just selecting ID. Okay, ID column. Right. Now let's go ahead here. What is that object? rs dot get int. Okay, so int and index is 0. 1. So now please observe record number 1 doubles. Now actually it will throw you an exception. You know why? Because again I'm trying to run this. Right. Okay, no, it's not, because already record is deleted. So you guys can see console now. So the record number, ID number 107, it's deleted from table. If you want to, if you want to select all the fields, you can select and print, but just for, your confirmation. So I selected only ID. If you want to print all the, all the records, all the fields, then you just, replace that ID with a star. So in that case, we have to add all those fields. Okay, plus again plus rs dot get string. Okay, so get string 1. So column name is 2 plus what is this? Again plus rs dot get string record number 3 index number, sorry, not record number, again plus rs dot get string. So here index number 4. Okay, so now it will display all the records, all the columns. Okay. What is this question? 11001. Okay. So yes. Observe here 1001. This record from Chennai. So let me run this. Hope you all find, you all find the difference. So this is about deleting a record from table. Okay. Fine. So we have 5 more minutes. If any queries, okay, send Java materials. Okay, so yes, we have 5 more minutes. If any queries, yes, you all can raise the query. I hope no queries. So we have discussed about, statement interface, a result set, and prepared statement. Okay, hope no questions. And in the next session again, in the next session again, it continues with few more demos from few more demos for the execute method. Okay, so I had given for execute and execute update and execute query. So even we have execute method. Okay, along with the execute method, yes, continuation of this crude, crude operations with the JDBC. Yes, it's the same workbench. Yes, of course, PHP MyAdmin, it's nearly same as. See, it's just an user interface, it provides more user interface. We do have command prompt, is that MySQL command prompt. Tomcat server, in Tomcat server, we cannot create database, no? Okay, where is that workbench MySQL? Let me show you. Okay, so instead of workbench, we can use that command prompt as well. MySQL, it's not opened. I don't know, it's not opening. But yes, whatever we perform with a workbench, that all things can be done with the MySQL command line. Okay, fine. I will share those links in the next class. So you can get it from this website. That download. So you can go to downloads and yes. It's let's go with the I guess it's a community, but let's see. Oh. So you can get it actually MySQL installer for Windows, you know. So that gives, all required softwares. That gives virtual, Visual C++. There are a lot of, a lot more things. You can select whichever the, thing which you needed for your practicals. Okay, I will share these links and all by, in tomorrow's class. Jar file, MySQL connector jar. MySQL. Okay, so you can get it from the net. Okay, fine. So let me, Okay, so done for today. If any queries, post in chat window, so we can, I'll get back to you in tomorrow's class. Fine. Thank you all.